corner. Okay. All right. So visit Lake County customer experience, right? CX, the new term. Elevation. How do we take what we're already doing really well? Because obviously your businesses are thriving to the degree that you are providing a membership, that you're interested in other people's opinions, you like to gather, you like to be in unison as a group. That's so far so great. But how do we develop the common language? If you've ever been to the north coast of Washington State, there are islands called the San Juan Islands. Little known, but there's one called Orcas. And on Orcas Island, when you were driving one-to-one, Brett, you and I are driving, you're on your side of the road, I'm hopefully on my side of the road. We don't, like Midwesterners, go, hey you, and all this, or honk honk, get out of my way. We might say nothing. All we do is we give a index finger hello. That's all they do. That is super local. Now, I don't think we're going to start doing that in Lake County, unless I'm wrong. We could all start doing the wave, and that could be fun. But to get everybody in step and thinking about how we can energize a common language, a common greeting, a culture that looks and feels very natural to all the businesses here. And what works inside of one business generally won't be exact, but it can mirror the spirit that goes on here. When I get excited and I'm driving again from another suburb to come into your county, I just know I'm feeling relaxed. I have the opposite feeling when I'm going somewhere else, like I'm energized, I'm going to do this or that. I'm relaxed and then I'm ready to explore. That's how I feel when I'm coming to visit Lake County. It's very, very genuine. So, to develop a greeting that's local flavor, to say when you go to Charleston, South Carolina, you're okay with y'all. If someone started saying, Debbie started saying y'all, we might think, okay, she's clever. She's from the south end of Lake County. But either way, we're looking at this as it's that style. You want that experience. That's the brochure you bought, right? That's the website. That's the menu I saw. I've got to have that. And so when we're looking at where we're going to go, choosing positive and experiential words, that the common language, and in a different setting we would do different exercises to come up with what does that sound like? How do we experience, how do we feel Lake County? How do we energize? How do we smell, feel in the forest preserves that are so amazing and give us the right amount of carbon dioxide that we need? And also to take time and listen, judging less. I have an example for each of these. To articulate and also reflect about where we are, and then to be present, and finally an exercise in ESP. Still have a crush. It's never going to end. The crush, that is, of Tom Cruise. So you had me at hello. How does it sound when I call your business, Kevin? What does it sound like? Kevin, I'm so glad to hear from you. How's it on your end? How does it feel in your business? Great. A standard greeting. Am I allowed to personalize it in case I'm different than the person next to me? Okay, good. Okay. In some businesses, uniformity and that expectation of the end user, the consumer, is really important. When they don't say be well when I leave Walgreens, I feel like I did something wrong. Like, did I just get the flu shot? They need to tell me be well, right? I'm expecting that and how that feels. And so it might be a script. It might be more generic. It might be something that's within different departments of an organization, can easily be. I don't expect you to read the smaller print, but what I'd like you to get is the language of service. When someone says to me, no problem, I'm just of a era, or I'm something that I still am affronted by no, not, neither, can't. The negative words. So when we're trying to be in a positive world, look at your website, look at what people are saying, but also look at what they're not saying. How can I help you? Some people might say, well, how may I help? I don't know, how can you? I don't know what your skill sets are. So maybe that's a little bit one-sided over to the other. But there are still people that we serve that might feel that way. We can't judge it for ourselves because we're not them. Anybody a twin in the room? No, but do you know twins? I was a college roommate of a twin, and I couldn't tell who was who until about midterm. But it is amazing to me how two people have the same experience in life, or mostly the varying opinions, and we always want to honor that. So when we say, I can't do that, or that's the other department, that sounds awful. Or you have to tell your story again to the next person on the phone. How many times couldn't they have written it down and said, I really want to share with Christine. She's so smart. I just told her everything I could. By the time you get to the next person, you've forgotten half the details. Like, why am I even calling you? It's exhaustive. It takes energy. Why do we have to make our customers do our job? I'll repeat that. Are we getting our customers to do our job? And in customer service, isn't that about? A little bit about forecasting. If you ran a car dealership and you had an appointment, you would know that their birthday, it's on their driver's license, not illegal to look at that. You would say, here's an opportunity. It's their birthday this month, this year. So glad to see that you're having a birthday this year. So either way, you're taking a moment and trying to understand who are these people in their language. When was the last time you got on the website of their business? I think it's really important. I am a LinkedIn stalker. I will find out everything I can about you. If your kid is going to Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, I can tell you the 3 best Italian restaurants in Providence. Does that matter? It will. Because graduation weekend, 4 years from now, it will matter. So whatever it is about them, it's not so much about my interest, the what's in it for me, really is about what's in it for them. What can we talk about? The last time you asked your friend, how are you? And you were sorry that you did? Sometimes, and you genuinely want to know, but with your customers, find out what it is that makes them tick. What is it about? We don't often ask. We just assume that they'll be around forever, and then they go somewhere else. We didn't stop and find out who they are, not just about their business. So the language of service. So judging. What time's the 3 o'clock parade? It's a little redundant. I always laugh. I think, oh gosh, well that sounds so silly. So we all know our businesses really, really well. When I worked as concierge inside of a hotel where we couldn't see the windows and the guests would say, I'd like an ocean view. Now we are in Chicago, so I thought, well, do I get them the telescope so they can see the Atlantic? Or do I accommodate and get them and get on the same side with them on the desk and say, so you're always welcome and you're always knowing in Chicago, your body compass is to your left, will be east. And I got to orient them. They feel great about this opportunity for learning. They feel like they're involved. But when we ask, what time is the 3 o'clock parade? What does that do for us, Lori? What does that give us an opportunity? If we 3 are working at Disney and someone comes up and says, what time's the 3 o'clock parade? What's an opportunity for us? We can actually say something like, well, it's only 2:30. You've got a half an hour. Do they sell anything at Disney? You bet. The gift shop on the way. Or if you're going to buy your Mickey Mouse ears for the photo op, now's a good time to get this. This can be applicable to any business. You have an opportunity, instead of hanging up and just saying, well, there goes another customer. You have an opportunity to inform them and give them a nugget of information that they did not know. In fact, I'll even take the photo for you to be involved with them instead of just providing a stock answer. It also is just good business to reflect and say, the 3 o'clock parade is at 3 o'clock without judgment. Then you can go in the back and go, I got another one. Can you imagine that they ask us this? It's okay. It's okay. You know, are they looking, Rita, for a double tree? Because I see trees here, but I'm not sure they're all together. I mean, this is how it is. We know our business so thoroughly. So let's get on the other side of it. Let's get a focus group. What aren't we doing to mirror the customer experience? Again, experience, proactive versus reactive. So, my friend Oprah, met her a few times, got established with the office. As a concierge, we would get many requests for Oprah tickets for the 25 years running Harpo Studios in downtown Chicago. At one point, a guest kept on asking me for Oprah tickets. Now, I am German, so I can say this. He was from a small town in outside of Dusseldorf. And he kept on asking for them, and I finally got them for him. Couldn't be more excited. This was my moment of truth. I was able to share with him the experience for the lifetime. I had dinner ready for him, the limousine, a backstage pass. We had it all. On a silver tray, presented the information on a reservation card. He turned to me, and when he said, crestfallen, he didn't say crestfallen. He looked crestfallen, meaning sad. I thought, where did we fall down? Wrong night, a million things coming into my head. And he said, I thought we were going to La Boheme. Now, you might not love opera, but opera and Oprah sound the same. The way I needed to be clear and articulate is just as much a part of customer service. It's no longer Oprah, it became opera. And so the difference is so slight, but it happens in every business. Again, we know our business so well that we need to articulate. I had one customer that had a newsletter that came out. They said, every month we send it out on Thursdays, and by Saturday we get a call saying this. And I thought, well, did you ever ask them to not send it on Thursday? Why not send it on Wednesday so they have it in time for the weekend? That it's because once you make that shift and you have listened to the customer and you get them what they need, it feels a lot different. So, on the count of 3, if you can read and you can see the orange jar with the cap on top on the left, I'd like you to say this word. 1, 2, 3. Jesus. Freeze. Now, many of you find this funny. Either they like the word, they like how it sounds, you're doing great. They like that it's a funny kind of food, that it brings on the fun, that you've had nachos at a ballpark or something. Okay, you can relax. It uses all of the maxillofacial muscles in our face. Find out what makes people laugh and what makes people happy in your organization. It is tough on the front line. It is really hard at midnight when there's a hotel guest that's maybe has imbibed or maybe should imbibe, because whatever it is to lighten them up and make it more fun and more of an engaged conversation, we can't write that recipe for everybody. But find out what is behind the scenes that can get everybody happy and a little bit lighter and a lot more jovial and attached to their job. And so when they get excited, if they're always on time, it's late in my world. In the customer experience world, you find out what's going on when things happen before. Of course, there's always times when we're running just on time, great. There's always times when we're running just a little bit late, however that works. But to be a better customer service provider and a customer experience maker is such a difference. Customer service or customer experience. And that is why we have ESP. First of all, nobody views things the same. It's completely experiential. The way that you read the Yelp comment or TripAdvisor, where were they? What night were they there? Oh, the same night. Oh gosh, how did they have that experience? Either way, negative or positive. Because our view and our vista of the world is completely subjective. The twin thing. Even people who look and act and seem alike are going to have varying opinions. And that's the opportunity that we get to when we ask the right question about our customer. What is it that they really want? What does our guest, our visitor really, really want? What aren't they saying? That's the hidden agenda. What haven't they told me yet that I can explore and see? So looking at subjective. And in the end, to me, customer experience is very personal. Very personal. It's very deep. Because I only have so much money, I only have certainly so much time, and I only got one thing, this life. And if I'm going to invest in your attraction or your business, I want you just to be as engaged, because I could be lots of other places, right? So if I can just be accepted for my personal wish and how I want to be. So looking at the lens of the customer experience. It's an experiential moment. It's very subjective versus objective, and to the gut and to the core. It's personal and attached to who we are.